Hello everyone, am I audible to all of you? Okay, so I think we can start the lecture. We will not wait that much. Okay, so because it's already 9 o'clock, so yeah, so we can just start. Okay. So how many of you are successful, or have you tried adding these into dvc.yaml? Okay. Okay, so those who did not, so let's finish this, okay, so that we can continue. Till stage 3, it's working. Okay. Okay, great. And how many of you have you tried training this after this generator? Okay. Okay, only one. Harshit, maybe you will require some background if you are starting today. So definitely it will be required. Otherwise, it will be difficult to follow. If you already are familiar with this DVC, then it is fine. Otherwise, you can still stay. You can just observe that what we are doing. Jitendra, actually, we did not do any class on 24th. Only 23rd we have done. So that's why, because we did not, it did not happen because I was not well. So that's why I rescheduled it today. Okay. Okay, I think now let's try to begin with this. So let's try to implement the rest of the part. First of all, we already have the train generator and valid generator we have already utilized. Now let's try to go ahead and let's try to do the training part here. Okay. So after this, what we have to do, first of all, let's try to find out the steps per epoch. Like how many steps you want to involve in every epoch. So it is going to be your train generator dot all the samples that has been you have got in this one, and then integer division we have to do after that, and train generator dot we need to call for batch size. Okay, so this will give us the steps per epoch. Okay, so Bappy, do you get your clarity here? I think you are used to ask about the steps per epoch and all. Okay, next is validation steps. So validation steps is going to be now valid generator. We will take this valid generator and we will fetch all the samples divided by the batch size. Okay, so this will give both the steps, and then after that we will simply call for model.fit operation. So model.fit method we have to call for, and then in this one we will be passing first of all the train generator, that is going to be the data set. See, Rishabh, we have already taken the batch size while defining this, right? See here. So that is the use case of train generator. Okay, so let me show you that thing also. If you just look for the batch size, okay, first thing is that you do not get the maybe here. Just a second, it is model.fit, right? So we will just look for. You can see in the fit operation, if I click on fit, so you will see that there is a batch size. Okay, so it was defined here that number of samples per gradient update. Okay, so that's what we have modified, and it also says that if specified batch size will be default to 32, do not specify batch size if data is from the data sets or generators. Okay, if it is coming from these generators, and then you don't have to specify batch size, because while defining the data set itself, okay, while defining the this valid generator and train generator, we have already taken that batch size. Okay, Rishabh. So no need to pass it in this model.fit. It will be considered in this itself, like valid generator when you will be creating. So next is validations data. Okay, so validation. Validation data is equals to, we are going to have this valid generator. It's showing some error here, like expected. Okay, because I did not provide comma here. Next thing that we have to do is like epochs. Okay, how many epochs you're looking for? So we will be specifying that. Epochs is going to be, again, it is coming from parameters. Epochs. So you can just verify it once again. In parameters, we have the epochs. So you can simply use that. So this will now take the epochs, and then what is we have, that is steps per epoch. Okay, steps per epoch we have already defined. Then we have validation step. And then at the end, we have just callbacks. Okay, so callbacks is equals to, we have the list of callbacks here. So we can just simply mention that. So we have got all the requirement which is needed for the training of the model. Okay, so we can just try it right now. Okay, so we are already in the environment, so we can just see, we can say that Python source, and then it is stage 4 train.py. Okay, so you will get this error that it does not have SciPy installed, okay, because image transformation. So what we can do is we can simply install in SciPy, okay. Either you can directly install, or you can just run the requirements also. So pip installs SciPy, okay. It will be 1.7 this version, okay. So let's wait for that. Okay, it is done. So we can specify this exact version here in the requirements as well. Okay, the training has started. So So it might take some time depending upon our system that we are using. And sometimes, even though I have configured the CUDA also, but still it is taking some time. So let's verify that. Okay, Rajesh is asking, while training, can we add the progress bar? I think we need to check that. I did not try that. Okay, the training was complete here. So that means the part is working. Okay, we can check the logs also, whether the logs are getting updated. So at the end, you can see it says, okay, deprecation warning is giving up. Oh, so we can just look into that. Stop. That is something else. So like stage 4 is able to complete here. So that means that training part is left. Okay, that is fine. Now what we have to do is we will be saving this model that has been created here. Okay, so we have to do that part. So now let's try to save that model. So if we, okay, if you are following up, so we can just also do what? We can just simply update all these changes. You don't have to update all these, like the things which are getting generated. These are the actually the artifacts, or you can say, which is getting generated or log. So that is not has to be uploaded. So what we can do is we can just, first of all, I will update the requirements.txt. Okay, so we can say that that is SciPy is added as a dependency. Okay, so we can commit this separately, and then we will commit this also by a message that model training is successful, or you can say done. All training is done. So we can just simply commit these changes. So we have done the major changes that is required. Okay, now what we can do, we can simply push these changes. Okay, so this will push the changes to the repository that we were using for this one. Okay, so this is done. Now let's try to work on the model saving parts. Okay, so what we will do, simply like we have to first of all get the train model directory. What is that? So train model directory where we want to save it. So it is going to be is equals to os.path join and artifacts directory. Yes, and inside artifacts directory where it will be located, train model directory. Okay, so let's try to observe where is the configuration in the config part. You need to get this train model directory. This is your train model directory path, okay, from artifacts directory, and then we will be creating this directory. After that, we will be defining the model file path. Okay, so model file path where we are going to save it. So here what I'm doing is I'm going for a unique name. So get unique model name so that whenever you run this, you get a unique model name, or get unique path to save model. Okay, to save model. So here we will be just passing the train model directory. Okay, trained model directory. Once this is done, so we will just go for model.save, and we will save it at this location, that is your model file path. After this, we can also provide that, okay, logging information, that logging info, and we will say that trained model is saved at the location. So this will be your model file path. So it will be saved at this location. And we can also provide information here that after this step, that is model file path, model.fit, we can also provide information that training is done. So now let's try to define this, like get a unique path to save model. Okay, so we will be defining it into your models.py. So it will be inside this functionality, not yet implemented. So we will be implementing this. Let's try to create this, or also we have to copy the signature, like signature of the function, which we are going to define. So we will go to our models. Okay. We will define a function that is this. Okay. And will help us to give a unique file path. And apart from this, we can also specify that like model name, default model name also we can specify. So default model name is nothing but, let's say it is model. Okay, that is the default name that it is having. So after that, we have to get the, first of all, what we were doing earlier, we have created a timestamp, right? Timestamp method. So a timestamp will be generated, okay, by calling the get timestamp. Okay, where we will be passing your model name. Okay, this we will be pass, and then it will give me a timestamp, and then we can just define a unique model name first of all. So unique model name is equals to f, and then we will simply go for timestamp .h5. Okay, so it will be created. Now after this, what we will do is we will define a unique model file path, which is going to be os.path join. It will take the train model directory path that we have defined and this unique model name. So this will generate the path. Okay, and then we will be returning this. So return the unique model path. So first of all, we have to get this. So let's see that where we have defined. I think we have defined in all utils. So we will be importing that from here. So from src dot all utils. Okay, utils dot all utils import, and we will be defining this, getting this get timestamp. Okay, so this is already defined in your all utility section. This module. Okay. So we have got all the things which are needed here. Okay. But if you want to provide any other model name, so you can provide by that name, we will do the job. It's okay. By default, I have just given it here, so you don't have to call for it. So I think this will be able to do our job. Okay, so let's try to run this. So once this is finished, so what we will do, we will simply work on the dvc.yaml. We will keep on adding stage by stage, and then we will just see that, okay, whether the entire pipeline runs or not. So I think this is training was able to complete. So let's try to see whether it was able to create those things or not. So we have got model. Okay, model was able to create this file, by this unique name. So model at Monday, October 25, 2100 hours, 24 hours. Okay. So it was able to complete that part. So what we can do is now we can just try to add, first of all, commit these changes so that you guys, if you're doing, so you can simultaneously work on this one. So what changes that I have done, I have made the changes in train.py and models.py. So I will just commit these changes together. Rest of the commits are actually not, that has to be, it is actually a log. So we will not be committing those changes. So let's say that, okay, stage 4. Python scripting is done. Okay, scripting. So full Python scripting is done. So we can just name this, or if you want to provide any other commit names, we can do that. This is the, yeah. So this is done. So we have done the, like all the parts here for the like scripting point of view, if I say. Now let's try to start adding the dvc.yaml. Okay, so we will just start adding them one by one. So what will be the like criteria here? So let's say first will be the stages we have to define, at what stages we are having. So stages, and then we'll be specifying that, okay, first was what about the getting of the data. So, or we can say load the data. This is the name of the stage. And then we have the what command that we want to run. So the command is going to be your Python. It was src and then stage 1. So we can simply just try to get this file name, exact file name .py, and then we were passing some configuration files. So config is equals to, we have to specify that where it was located. It was in config, okay, slash, it was in the config.yaml. Okay, so this we have already created. Now let's try to also, I think we were not using any parameters there, so we can just skip that part. I think in the stage 1 we were not using any parameters. Okay, so yeah, it is fine. So we can just keep it as it is. Now this command is fine. Then after that, we have to go for the dependencies, that what dependencies that it is using. So the first dependency is going to be, this is the file itself. Okay, so we can just mention this dependency as it is. Then we have the some source utility we are going to use. So we can also use and specify them. So source utils, and then what are the utilities that we are using here? All utils. Yeah, there is only one utility file we are using, so we can just simply mention that. Also, we are using configurations, so config/config.yaml. So this is the dependencies. Next is outputs. That what are the outputs that we are generating? So outs will be, it was just generating data, and then inside that we are having the cat, and then similarly we are having for the dog. Okay, so these are two things which is getting generated here. So this is the first stage. Now let's try to run this, if it works successfully or not. Just a moment. Yeah, I think we can provide a tab here so that we will be inside this. Okay. So we have added the first stage. Now let's try to run this. We have it is successful, we will just commit the changes. So DVC, then we can say DVC reproduce. Okay. Okay, so sometimes you might face this error also. Like if you are having some let's say any antivirus installed in your system, so it might try to block DVC. So you can just click on that and you can just exclude this process, okay, so that you can avoid it. Okay. So we can reproduce the channel change, or you can see, so it was able to run that. Okay, so it was able to create this this stage was successful, so we can add this stage. So now let's try to commit these changes. So what we will do, we will simply go here, and we have just made a changes in the dvc.yaml. So we can add the dvc.yaml here, and we will say that stage 1. Also this dvc.log. Okay, these two changes we will be committing here, and I will say that stage, or we can say that dvc YAML update. We can specify what update is this. This is stage 1. Okay, so we can simply push these changes. So stage 1 is done. Now let's try to create a stage 2 part. So stage 2 is about preparation of the model. Okay, so preparation of the base model. So we can say stage 2 as prepare base model, or we can simply copy paste these things and we will just try to edit. So here it is, the name is actually, what is the name? So let's try to rename it, and we will just copy the exact name. Okay, stage 2 prepare model. It was taking the configurations, but let's see whether it is taking the parameters or not. So preparing the base model, actually it is going to take parameters also. So we have to specify that. So what is the argument for that? Parameters. Okay. So we need to specify that as well. Params is equals to params.yaml. So it was taking these two. So we can specify that here. And it is taking the stage 2, all utilities is already taking. It is also taking the, let's see what are the other utilities which was used in this stage 2 part. So stage 2 other utilities are used are models utility. So we can specify them, okay, here in the dvc.yaml. So models utility was also used. Configuration is already used. Okay, and now we can also tell that, okay, what are the parameters that are being used here. So we have to specify them separately here. So we can say parameters. Inside that, what are the parameters that we have used? So let's try to observe here in the stage 2. What are the parameters that we have used? Okay, parameters. So we have used image size, classes, and learning rate. So we can open the parameters. We can simply call image size. Okay, let me, this is already getting something. Just a moment. Let me just clear all those things and we will keep it side by side. So I will keep it open on the right side, split right. Okay. And this will also be kept here. So parameters wise, what are the parameters that we have used? Image size, can mention that here. Then we have used the classes and learning rate. So learning rate we can specify. And also the classes you can specify, although it is not needed to specify classes as a parameter because this may change, okay, and it does not create any dependency. So you can skip this part, which is not required to be recorded. Okay, but learning rate and image size, yeah, it matters. So now here the output will be what? So the outputs are nothing but, let's try to see what we are trying to create here. So outputs are nothing but your first of all, you are saving this model, okay, that is your updated base model, and also the like base BGG16 model. So we can tell them, so what we have, where it is getting stored, it is getting stored into the like base model directory, I think. Okay, so we can just open here base model directory and we can just get the path for that. So we have the base model directory, so we can just copy their path, relative path. So I will just copy relative path and then we can mention it here. Similarly, we can copy the relative path of the other one. And we can specify here. So right now it is giving you a backward slash because it's Windows system. So we can just make it to the forward slash. Okay. So this was the outcome for the your prepare base model part. Okay. Now let's try to run this. Okay. So is there anything else we are adding here? I don't think that we are in anything else we are taking here. So in the preparing the base model, that's all. I think we are not taking anything else as a dependency here. So we can now reproduce the, so it will start the base model part. Okay. It says failed because it is saying that, okay, that is it. It says that this part is actually already tracked by Git. Okay. So we can just remove them. And let's try to do this. Okay. It says that, okay, you need to remove this one. Okay. Because what happens that DBC deals with itself, okay, by these like artifacts, it deals with itself. So if it is already committed, so it will give you this warning that, okay, and it itself gives you a message that, okay, you can just, you have to remove this part. Okay, so we can just remove this from the Git tracking. Okay, and I will, since it is using backward slash, so we will update it to forward slash, because if you're using bash, this is a Git bash if you're using, so in that case. Okay, this has been removed and we can simply again make this commit information. We can simply copy paste. This message we are passing it here and stop tracking this part. And I think second time also you will get the same error, but for the other one, that is your BGG base model. But let's try to see this. Yes, okay, it is giving you the same for BGG base model. So what we can do is we can simply use an up arrow key, and I will just make some changes here because it's just having, the only thing is that I have to remove the BGG 16 like updated in front of them. Okay, so it will do the same thing. Okay, it says what? Okay, actually I did the commit message. So I need to actually do the remove first, and then we will be doing the commit. So first of all, we need to remove, and then we will do the commit. So this is done. Now, if I try to run the DVC reproduce, okay. Now it will run successfully. So if I just see here, so this completes your stage 2, and you will see now that git ignore was added. Okay, git ignore for base model was added now. So if I just look into the file system here, like where Explorer, so you will find here now in the base model, since it is added already, this git ignore file, automatically DVC will ignore these two files, because these files are not tracked by DVC. So as DVC says that, okay, you have to create, like, these artifacts has to be kept in your local system, or maybe in remote repository. It does not has to be on the GitHub, okay, in your Git source code. So that's why it is, if I just click on this one, you will see that it has automatically added this file. Okay, so what we will do is now we will commit these changes. First of all, dvc.yaml, that we have added the stage. Okay, and then we will just add the dvc.log. Also, we will add the git ignore file here. Okay, so now what we can say that dvc YAML update stage 2. Stage 2 is done now. So we can just commit these changes. Let's see if we have any other changes we have made. No. So the rest of the things are actually, these are the artifacts or the logs that is again being created. Okay, so we can just commit these, okay, commit the changes, and I will push it to the remote repository. So the updates is done. Now let's go back here, and now let's try to, first of all, close this stage 1 and all, because that is not required. We will just focus on the dvc.yaml, and here also we will close this part, stage 2 part. Now look, go to the stage 3. So in the stage 3 section, let's try to first of all add it. So we will just rename it. Okay, or no, before that we have to, let's try to create the stage, new stage we have to create. So what I will do, I will simply, again, I will just copy paste these things. And this will be called prepare callbacks. Okay, and let's try to now get the name of the file. This is stage 3. Okay, and now it is using the all utility. It is using the, instead of models, it is using what? It is using callbacks. Okay, callback utility it is using. So we can just copy that name here. So this is, it is using. Configuration is fine. And then also we need to specify here, I will be specifying here that parameters, okay, separately. So, and parameters, it is not tracking. I think parameter was not utilized here. Okay, parameters was not used here, so we can skip this part. But still, I'm adding parameters.yaml as a dependency, because if anything changes in this parameters, so it will be updated. This file has to be called again. Otherwise, what will happen if you do not add this? So what will happen, that it will not update the parameters, it will not update the callbacks that we have created here. Okay, according to the latest changes. So that's why it was added here, this parameters.yaml. But if you don't want, you can just try to remove this and just see that what kind of bug you get. So once you are able to, you can observe it yourself also. Now after that, what it is going to create, it is going to create the callbacks that we have generated here. Okay, so let me copy the relative path here, and I will remove it. And I will copy the relative path for this one also. So I think this completes the prepare callbacks part also. So let's try to run this dvc reproduce command here. Okay, this stage successfully ran. That means it was able to create this part. Now, if you observe here in this section, so you will find out in the callback section is also git ignore file is now added automatically. So it will ignore these files. It will not commit those changes automatically. So what I will do, I will simply now go back here in the commit section. I will add these commits. So we will be adding dvc.yaml that is been updated here. And we will be adding dvc.log. We will also be adding the git ignore file that we have created, because that has been updated in the artifacts callbacks. Okay, so now what we will do, we will say that is again dvc YAML update. This is about the stage number 3. So we can commit the changes and I will push the changes as well. So this is about the prepare callbacks. Now let's try to create for the train file. Okay. So the next thing is going to be about the train part. So we will, before that, what we can do is we can see that, okay, what is how our DAG or directed acyclic graph looks like. So DVC DAG, if I just run this, so you'll see that it is now, they are not interconnected as of now. Load data, prepare data, they are not interconnected. But let's see, like in the third stage when we will be adding. So the third stage is going to be, let's try to actually fourth stage. That is the last stage that we are adding here, which is going to be about train. And I will remove all this, which is being created, this part. Okay. And in the train section, well, first of all, let's try to get the file name here. So rename, copy, exact file name. Okay. Now let's open this one. Let's see that, okay, what kind of like dependency it is having. Okay, so first of all, there are multiple dependencies here. This is going to have multiple dependencies here in this case. So let's try to look here. So it is having, actually it is using all of them, data management, callbacks, models, and all those things. Okay, so we can just, all utils that's already fine. Callback is already fine. Okay, so we can just create some new. One is models. Also, another one is data management. So these two are already utilized. Configuration is utilized. And then it has dependency on the previous, all the outputs that has been generated. So one is the data dependency it is having. This model is required the data part. So this will be also added as a data part here. Then it will be having the dependencies from these models. So among them, it will just only be having a on this updated one. So because that was a full model that we have created. So I will be adding them also here. Then it will be having all the dependencies on the callback that has been created in the previous section. So we will be also adding those. So this will be, now this has all the dependencies. And now after that, we will be taking care of the parameters keyword. So params, we are going to use it here greatly. So what are the parameters that is being used here? It will be using the, let's try to observe it here. Parameters. It is using image size, batch size, augmentation. Okay, and the epochs. So it is using image size, batch size, epochs, and augmentation. So these are the 4 dependencies it is having. So we have added already. And now what will be the output it is going to create? It is going to create a models that we have getting created here. So models it is going to create, but since this is going to change every time that we create, so we will not be adding them as a, like, and the direct dependencies. What we will do, we will just add the dependency as the path to this particular directory. That's all. So we will just copy the path here, relative path. Okay, and I will simply it will create, it will take this model, it will create the number of files, and the size of this entire folder will be treated as a RT, like output. If you want, you can also do this with the data as well. Since we are having very less number of data, that's why I've added both of them as a dependency, but it is fine. If you want, if you have multiple data sets, so in that case, you don't have to write it multiple lines. You can just go for the folder, till the folder, root folder for that particular data. That will also do the job. Okay. So I think this is the stage 4 is now added. So let's try to train this. So first for that, we will be calling for dvc reproduce command. Okay, so it is, I think it will be able to do the training. So it has started the epochs. Vivek, I think using an wildcard, that is asterisk format, it throws an error in DVC. Okay, maybe in the later stages it will be updated. So you can try if you get an exception. So yes, you might get an error that this file does not exist. Okay, model at star. So this thing does not exist. You might get this error. So that is the issue mostly. Okay, so it was able to complete the training part successfully, that last part also. So now if you just check the DVC DAG, okay, so you will find that it is showing something like that. Okay, so load data has created the data, prepare data base model has created the base model, prepare callbacks was actually creating the callbacks, which was actually now be this of the product of these, all these three stages was actually a dependency for the train. So it was able to take that as an input, or that is an input here. Okay, so that's why it is now able to showcase in this format. I think in the starting lecture itself, I was talking about these things, that okay, this will be, the data will be passing in this form, right? So this is now, it is passing in the same way. So that means our last stage is also added. So we can now just look into this part here. And we will just add the, or also you can see that in the artifacts, okay, it is actually created the git ignore files also. So we will just adding this. Okay, actually it should be okay. It is actually created for the models part. Actually, if you just open this one, so you will get it. So now let's try to add these changes. Okay, so dvc YAML stage, then dvc.log, and this git ignore also. The rest of things are actually logs. So what we can do now, let's try to say that it is dvc YAML update stage 4. So stage 4 has been now updated. I think now let's try to actually restart this. Okay, let me restart this. Otherwise, because it is showing you this issues, although it may be a part of ignore part, it is already a part of git ignore, I guess. So it should not be there, but let's try to see this. Right, it is also still saying that source control is having this 30 changes has to be yet to be done. So now let's try to, okay, first of all, let me push these changes. Okay, so the changes has been pushed to the remote repository. And if you want to check the remote repository, so you can come here and just click on this part. So you can see that all the 34 commits, okay, all that has been done. And now you will see that some folders are now visible here because of the git ignore file. Okay, so you will find out that okay, git ignore is already there, and then in the callback section you will find git ignore, base model, and all those things. Okay, it means reboot this. Okay, restart this thing. Okay, I think if it is having a, okay, it does not have a okay, no problem. So we can close this and let me restart it. Okay, so all those issues were like gone. I think you can see here. Okay, now it still shows. Maybe this was not added as a git ignore. Wait, let's check that. Okay, I think we did not add it as a like outcome, right? So because in some of the stages we were actually creating, okay, in this case also in output section while doing the training, we were actually doing also what? We were also creating some logs as well, right? Here, I think callback logs. So what we can do is we can, if you mention them as a output here, those logs output. So maybe that will be, this will be ignored. Okay, these logs, these artifacts, that issue which is you're showing is saying getting here, checkpoints and all those things, that's about log directory, that will be ignored. Okay. Or checkpoint part, actually these logs that is getting generated. These logs can be ignored. Okay, so what we can do is either you can mention them in git ignore file, or this does not require to be, you can say, published. And similarly checkpoints also, that has, it is not required to be published. So either you can like, since it can, if it is a byproduct of any of the stages, so you can add them as a part of that. Or otherwise what we can do is we can simply mention them in this git ignore file here itself. Okay, so that will also do our job. So what we can do, we can mention them that, like, say, checkpoints. And also we can mention the TensorBoard log directory. Or the better will be, like, if you want them to be as a part of your directory structure. So what you can do is we can simply also create a git ignore file inside these itself, like TensorBoard log directory and then checkpoints itself, by giving their name itself. Okay, like the one it has been created here, like for this like other ones, like this one, git ignore file. So it is actually ignoring the files which are internally getting created. So you can do that also. But yeah, or otherwise you can add them as a dependency or output here. So let's try to create it for that. So let's create for TensorBoard log directory, because this will be an output for this one. So we can simply mention them as, let's say, artifacts and TensorBoard. You can mention them here. But since it's not the relevant example, or you can say this is not the exact output that we are looking for, so we can skip this part. Instead of, it's better that you add it in a separate git ignore file. That will be better option. So we can do that actually. So let's try to add it here. So touch, I can say touch, and inside artifacts, then in your TensorBoard log directory, we can just create a git ignore file. Git ignore. And also we can create it inside your like checkpoints as well. And in them, we can simply mention that, I think this will take the asterisk, whatever is present here. Okay, yeah, it was able to do. So it is the best approach here. And similarly in this, like here also, checkpoints also, since it's a CKPT. So CKPT _ model.h5. So you can mention them here. So it will now ignore this part. So right now we are left with one of the like few of the like checkpoints. Actually, this is having git ignore file. Callbacks is also having git ignore file. So that those are the things which is actually be now can be thought of as a part of, you can say, like that can be added as a like this can be committed. Okay, this git ignore file. So we can commit these changes. Okay, and should actually show me two outcomes here. Okay. let's just verify it once again. So it is TB logs by that name. So we can also specify them as in this form, like TB underscore logs and star asterisk. I think this should work. Yeah. So this will work, like, because this is a star means asterisk means that we are taking as a wildcard, right? Okay. So we can simply mention it here also, like this thing. Like I'm telling you, this is one of the approach. It is not necessary that you have to follow this. Okay. Or you can simply just as Nabran is saying that, okay, artifacts we can simply add as an inside this itself, git ignore, we can simply add artifacts. That is also absolutely fine. Why I am trying to create this one is so that you can see the entire architect, like entire directory structure there. Okay, let me show you that what I'm trying to do this. If I just add these commits and commit it to the remote, so you will see that. So for CKBT and TB logs. If I sync the changes, so you will see it in the remote. Okay, let's let it do it. So if I just refresh it, you will see that, okay, in the artifacts, you can see like all the directory structure, the way you see it on my local will be available here because of those git ignore file, because this contains just one git ignore file. And this also will tell you that, okay, what are the files which were uploaded, like which were not uploaded. Okay. So in this way, you will get those information also. Otherwise, it looks like sometimes it looks incomplete right now, because you can see that it was ignoring this file only. So this also does the job also. Let's say if you want to maintain the directory structure, other ways to do is git keep. Okay, we have also seen that, I think, in the previous lectures. Git keep is a file which is a kind of empty file that people create to maintain the directory structure, or in the GitHub. Okay, because GitHub does not allow you to upload an empty directory. Okay, so but that git keep file will not tell you that, okay, what was the things, or what was the things which was ignored. Okay, so that's why you can use the simply this git ignore file .git ignore. So it will tell you that, okay, what was the file which has been uploaded, like which has been ignored. Okay, so this actually completes our this part. But yes, we can do a lot here after this as well. Okay, what are the things that I will suggest you to do is you can add one more stage here, which will do the evaluation for this training.py. Okay, and it will store the evaluation as a JSON file or anything. Or maybe you can create plots also. Maybe you can create confusion matrix, because this is a binary classification. So you can create a confusion matrix. Okay, so that will be you can say as an assignment, you can add another stage here. Okay, and like other scores also you can create, like F1 score, and then this like precision and recall PR curve you can create, because this is again, it's nothing but it's just a binary classification. And you have yes, so you can do that also. So I will suggest you to add that stage. You can, let's call it as a evaluation stage. Okay, so that will be actually great. Okay, so you just, then after that, if you are able to add one more stage, that means you are comfortable with DBC. Okay, so this was the lecture about this. Now let's try to take few questions. And okay, now Baran, what is your query? And before that, you asked.
Sorry, I think you have explained it. In DVC YAML file,
Mhm.
my question was if, let's say, I have multiple outs, like in
Okay.
data, or let's say the model file. So you said,
Mhm.
instead of writing each file, you can directly write the folder name. So that will work.
So you can see here, like when you open the dvc.log file, you will see that, okay, when I have updated output as a data path, data cat, so you will
Hmm.
see what it is saying. 103 number of files are there. Okay, so it
Yeah,
calculates the number of files and it calculates the overall size as well.
yeah,
Okay, along with the, you can see also this hash file will be there, and it also tells you that, okay, it is a directory. So
yeah.
this information is getting like recorded in the dvc.log file. So
Okay,
that is how it tries to get those information. So you
okay.
can see also these things are actually added. Image size is now added as a list. So like if you want to get a list, so yeah, every information is getting recorded here. So
Yeah.
whenever there will be like here, okay, size and all those things, so it will be uploaded in that way.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm sorry, I forgot to. And
Okay.
yeah.
One more thing is, Navran, actually, the file that you have shared about that
Yeah.
that NLP. So can you clean that, because there were some things were commented. I not
Oh,
like
that is not needed. Actually, I was means for practice purpose. I was keep on trying. So the one which are
So, okay, so you
commented.
can, what you can do is you can drop those part, just keep it clean, okay, so that I can just only see the relevant part. That will be better.
Okay,
So,
fine,
uh,
fine.
so you can
I
just
will
keep
do
it.
that.
Uh-huh. And what was the objective also? You can just mention that, okay, what is the data set and all those things, because
Okay, I
otherwise.
will share the data set. I need to look
Hmm.
for the data set. I will share the data set. I
Okay,
think
okay,
it
that will
was
be nice.
some, if I remember it correctly, it's for your from Kaggle somewhere I had taken.
It's okay, means whatever data is there, so you can just mention.
Yeah,
That will be better.
yeah, fine.
Okay, Bapi, what is your query?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Can you please go to this dvc.yml file? Okay. In the prepare model, I mean, it says,
Hmm.
yeah. So in the prepare model, it says like here we have a one parameter like our classes. Okay, but you haven't mentioned it here. So why?
Classes, see, you can mention, it's not mandatory. Classes, why I did not mention, because if you are, let's say you are working for, let's say, classes is not going to change normally, right? For any, let's say you are working,
Okay.
so classes is going to be same, right, for any class. But if you're, let's say, if you want to update classes later stages, so you can mention them here also. Or it is not going to cause any issue, like you can add classes. It's not going to harm. It will just record that information, that's all.
Okay, and go down like there you have mentioned this params.yml here. So you have already discussed like parameter is the key in
See,
DVC.
I will tell you that why I added. See, parameters final. Let's see if you want to do a change here. Let's say you have added a number of epochs you have increased. Okay. So what it will do, since this is not a dependency for this prepare callbacks, it will not observe the change here. So what it will do, it will just skip this part. Okay. Since it has skipped this part, it will just do the training part, and it will read what checkpoint. It will read the checkpoint which was created earlier. It will read TensorBoard call which was created earlier. So it will not update this part. That's why I have added that. Okay, if anything has been done in this parameters, so update this one. So that was actually creating bug for me also. That's why I've added here. So it will observe the changes, sense the changes, and it will update these files, because this has to be updated like directly.
But in our ML demo, we didn't do that. Like I think.
Yeah, in that one we did not do it. So yeah, it is a kind of you can say
yeah, common
experimentation,
sense.
right? Because so it will like once you go through that, so you will get to like, because I was getting this issue. Okay, so then I realized, okay, yeah, it was not a dependency here, so that's why it was not getting updated. So it was actually overwriting the same log file. So it was corrupting the logs that was being generated here, like this one, like in the artifact section, TensorBoard log directory, it was corrupting these, like these logs. Like it will not update this one. So let's say if I do not add it, so what it will do, whatever was the last log, it will keep on adding in the same thing. So it will create like unnecessary like response there. So that's why I did not.
And sir, this callbacks, okay, you were saving it in I mean in the this CV format file, okay, in our artifacts, but we could have directly used this callback during training.
Yes, if you want, you can directly use it also, like, but you can create an helper function. Actually, you can do it all the things without even causing these stages. But why I added this, because it can be make it like, it's kind of, you can say, maintainability, just because of that, so that we can maintain it separately, callbacks and all those things, we can just manage them separately. And also we can do the testing separately. So that's why, just to create the segregation.
Okay. So every time we're taking the output from the artifact, so that's why like we're generating the file in each steps, I can say.
Yes. So that's why, otherwise what will happen, so it will, this stage will not be added. Actually, this will be when you will just check the DVC DAG, so it will not show you that outcome. That what we are creating, the dependencies, because we know that, okay, this on this stage, our this part, training part, will be dependent. So to show the dependency, at least you should have some outcome which should get connected here. Okay.
Yes.
So otherwise, so that's why it was actually added. Otherwise, you can directly call it also. Or you
Okay,
can look for some other alternatives also. There are multiple ways we can achieve that, but
yes, sir.
I thought
Actually,
to be
I have seen some example like everybody use some different you can say approaches. Okay, so that's why like I was thinking like it's kinds of common sense we have to like apply here.
Yes, yes. No. So in a similar way, you will see in PyTorch, I will be doing it slightly differently.
Yes,
So
sir.
this will example we will cover in the next section or next call class itself. Okay.
Okay, sir. And sir, one thing like sir, how did you like rename this ENV like instead of the full path?
Okay, that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, actually, I need to just check it once again. Let's in the your this itself. This call is Conda environment. Okay. Conda configuration. I think you need to change. Just a moment. Yeah, in the important differences, I think I've already maintained here. Conda config is this. Conda configurations. Yeah, actually, that was a command here. Just a moment. Actually, it's specifying location. Okay, and then yeah, here you can see this.
Yes.
This is the command. Okay, conda config set the environment prompt as this name variable. Okay, so this will do your job.
Okay, I have to directly apply this command.
Yes, yes. So this will do the job. This will just rightly, it will update this file, that is conda arc file is there. So it will update the name by this one.
ENV.
So it will, what it will do, it will just take the folder name. So you can see here,
Yes.
if I just update the, let's say if I update the base file, so conda activate base. Okay, actually it is in this other one. So I will say source activate base.
Source activate base.
So it will give me the name of the folder. So it is miniconda. So in your case, it might show you Anaconda 3.
Anaconda 3,
Okay.
yes.
So yeah, so that's why I just updated it for the like folder name. So that's why it will just take the last folder name as an environment name.
Okay.
It will just show it here. So for that, the command is this one.
Okay. So can you please give me the link of this page?
It's already now present here.
Yes, sir, I got it.
It is already in the sim. Just search for Conda environments, managing environments. Okay, in that one you can just look for the like in the specifying location for environment. Under that only it is present.
But sir, one thing like I'm having, you have already discussed like if we create our environment in our project folder. Okay, so at that time our C directory won't be full. Okay, but whenever I'm creating the environment, I'm installing some of the packages. Okay, but my C drive is getting full. Why, sir?
Still waiting for C drive.
Yeah, C drive. Like I was
okay, like I got your point. See what happens, like sometimes it might do maybe some like base files which might be created there, okay, in the C drive itself.
Okay,
maybe because of that. Like so if we just try to create any environment, so what it does, it first of all it tries to install some of the base packages, okay, which is like default which comes. So maybe that may be acquiring the like files.
Okay.
That
but
area.
It is not taking that much of space like if we create in our C drive directly, but it's taking some space. I've seen like, yeah,
it's okay. I mean, see, it's up to us now, right? So environment files are here only. So if we are not using this, so we can simply delete it. I can just do it again. So yeah.
Okay. And sir, can you please show some like approaches like how we can clean up our C drive? So like, yeah,
clean C drive.
Yes, like there are some temporary files like it is not necessary, so we can clean up because it is already getting full in my system. So that's why.
What is like those temporary files, which I think like, see, what you can do is you can write some script also, Python script, which you can think that, okay, if there is a pattern, so it can remove those files, which is not required. Otherwise, what we can do is we can like remove some of the unwanted Anaconda environment that has been created already. So just search for Conda environment.
Yeah, I have deleted some of the environment. Yeah.
So in these environments which are not required, you can just delete it. Okay. So, but for that also you can write a script which will automatically remove all these things. Okay. Just will run the conda remove command by reading these script. Okay. These locations. So it will automatically do it for you.
Okay,
So
sir.
you
I
can do
will.
that.
Yeah, I will see that. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sunny, I have one more question. Out of curiosity, I'm asking, the
Hmm.
way you said, like, let's say on a particular folder, I have multiple file. So if I put a folder name, it will everything it will add in the git ignore. So same manner, if I in dependency, let's say I have multiple files which I want it as a dependency, can I put the just folder name so it will pick all
So
the
that's why
files?
you see here why it was data and cat. So cat has having multiple folder like files. So that's why here you can see
Okay,
in this
okay.
itself. Yeah,
So
it was
same thing
showing
we can do there
uh,
also. Okay.
see here number of files, size, and it is showing that it is a directory. So
Okay.
yes, we can do that. If
Okay.
any one file is also increased here, so it will just treat that okay, that dependency has changed. It will rerun this stage.
Okay.
So that's how
Got
it
it.
is tracking. Okay, Naresh.
Yeah, hi, Sunny.
Hi.
Just one thing.
Hmm.
Final output will get a model right after the stages of running with DVC. Are we showing the integration with web app also, like deploy this into some?
What you're getting?
Hello.
What you're saying?
Are we showing the integration with web app also? I'm asking the whole DVC with
Web
web
app
app.
like integration of this
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
See, web app integration, what we can do is we can create some like a UI, which will once you click that one, so it will just trigger this entire pipeline. Okay. So we can create certain UIs like that. So it will just internally do, or it will run the DVC reproduce command. Okay. So let me just open it here. So let's say like what we can do is we can simply create a user interface.
Okay.
So it will be, let's say you are having one button for the train or like run entire pipeline or trigger training. So once you do this, so it will do the training, entire training. Okay. So we can simply create one other pipeline, which will do the prediction only. So whenever a new data will come up, so it will do the prediction part. So this will also can be done. And apart from that, what we can do is, let's say these are the things, one thing that is we can do this thing. And then apart from that, like we have to also manage few more things here, let's say, because this will be a web application, so you cannot get the entire data into this application. So okay, what we can do is we can like train them batch wise, or also what we can do is we can just create some another bucket, S3 bucket, okay, or some bucket section, so which will be just fetching the data here, and then it will also, whenever the model will be created here, so model will again, it will go to some other S3 bucket. So we can also like add those stages as well, like apart whenever we'll be making a web application. Okay, so what we'll do, like the training, like this pipeline command will remain same. Okay, this pipeline will remain same, and this is for the train pipeline. Similarly, we can have a prediction pipeline also. Okay.
Okay.
So prediction pipeline will only do the prediction part. So we can just make them, and and in the Python itself, in the scripting itself, what you can do is you can just write, let's say os.system. So it will do your, like it will simply run here dvc space reproduce. So it will pythonically also you can run this also, like dvc reproduce command. So you can create another file, which let's say if you are having a Flask application, so Flask application, one route is about training route. So in training route, you can call this. So what it will do the reproduce of this like training pipeline, it will reproduce. Okay. And yeah, so in this case also you need to look for, maybe you need to add some if else condition also, like conditional stages. What we have to do in conditional states, like if it is training, so it will do the dvc reproduce command. But the thing is here, the only confusion that you will get is, like let's say if you are having two YAML file, one is for training, one is for prediction. Okay. So but you will run dvc reproduce command. So what it will do, it will look for dvc.yaml, that is by convention. Okay. So if you write, let's say if you write a dvc YAML file for training, and you will write a dvc.yaml for prediction, so how you will differentiate them, because name has to be the same thing. So for that, you need to create some like you have to create some, what you have to do is we can just let's say we can create a few more folders, like let's say train folder will be there. Train folder will be containing its own dvc.yaml. Okay.
Separate DVC.
And then similarly, you will be having the other one is for the prediction. So prediction will be having its own dvc.yaml. So what it will do, whenever you will run this command based on this condition, it will bring this file itself here in the current working directory, and then it will try to run this command. So in that way, you can do a conditional switch. So if it is training, so it will run the training.yaml, and if it is prediction, doing prediction, so it will do the prediction. Okay, so that's how we can approach.
Okay.
Because actually DVC has this like issue that it does not provide us the conditional switching of the pipeline or any conditional switch between stages. So that is the issue with this one.
Okay.
But it is provided in the Kubeflow. So Kubeflow has already managed this one. So that is the disadvantage of DVC. But the disadvantage is like they did not implement it, but we can implement it. So we can do this in this form if you want.
Okay. So in order to monitor the performance, like anything about the data also, right? So like I have seen some Prometheus and Grafana, some kind of tools, like even we can add that in web app.
Yes. You can add them as, because these are nothing but ultimately the Python files only, right? So if you want, you can add them.
Okay. So this kind of dependence we don't need in Kubeflow, right? Like whatever I said, like I mean,
Kubeflow is actually, it's a very good tool. I was like observing it, like it is actually better than these, like all of them combined, if you say, because it is already based on Kubernetes. It is scalable. It is having like, it has an end-to-end capability. Like they have taken care of most of the things. So right now, what we are doing is, because this will actually give us a like overall like view that, okay, how, what is pipeline and all those things, those concepts will be helpful. This dvc.yaml or DVC is actually as a lightweight. It is helpful for our solving some of the, like you can say, POC work. Okay, so this will be helpful there. And the similar approach we can do it for Kubeflow. So the concept wise, we are trying to learn it here. And apart from that, after this, we will just try to understand about MLflow also. So MLflow will be actually, it will be much better tool than this one, because MLflow is actually more mature than this one. So that is also having a lot of issue. Like, that is also having a lot of, you can say, functionality. Actually, one functionality that I wanted to cover, which we'll be covering in the next section, is actually about the, like you can search for DVC Studio. So if you just look into DVC Studio, so let's see, let me show you here. So it's kind of, it creates a dashboard for you. Okay, so let's say if I give you this example. So this was a earlier project. So if I, okay, this is the, yeah, if I click on this one, so it will actually, it will just record all the, you can say, all the commits that you do, and you can compare the commits. Okay, and you can see that it is storing alpha L1 ratio, and then MA, R2 score, RMSE, it is trying to score. So you can compare them, these tools. Okay, so in this way you can work. So this is actually, I will try to show you in the next session itself. Okay, it's a very interesting tool, and it has more functionality than the, like, it has actually, this was actually recently, actually it was developed. Okay, it was not earlier, it was not like that. Okay, earlier it was, they have, what they did is actually, you can just look for the dvc.org. Okay, this their own, you can see this documentation. So you will find out there is two more things actually required. That is CML is there, which is continuous machine learning, which is actually a kind of, you can say, you can run this DVC or self-hosted runners on your, you can say, GitHub itself. What it will do is, like, let me show you here in this example. It will actually, you need to add a workflow here, which will do your job. So it will require some of your, let's say, AWS secret keys and all those things. So what it will do, it will create a runner on this one, and it will create on T2 micro, which is actually free. And it will try to, like, it will try to deploy, it will try to do the training in this one, okay, on the T2 micro itself, and then it will just post the outcome here. Okay, so this we will be doing, okay, in the next session itself. I think we can do it. So I will just take this simple example, okay, and then I will try to explain it to you. I think I have already shown it to you, maybe this example, I guess. This is all the first class that we have taken, right? Load and save.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I will do the same thing. I will just, first of all, I will do this one so that you guys can explore, but you will need an AWS account for that. Okay, because this part actually requires some. Actually, this is actually I'm using a free tier actually here. But let's say if you want to train, let's say deep learning model, so obviously you will not, T2 micro will not be suitable for that one. So yeah, so in that case, you may have to upgrade to, or maybe you have to use some better, okay, some better cloud type here, like you can say instance, EC2 instance, some better one, so that it can with some, you can say, what you call, like with some GPU, okay, so that will be helpful. Otherwise, that's why I will show you this example so that you can practice for ML use case at least. Okay, for ML use case, T2 micro will be suitable, like for most of them. So this will be done. So deploying a runner on EC2. So this we will be doing it in the next session itself. I will just show you this thing so that you guys can at least get this dashboard, and there's more actually information on this one. For every, like, if I click one, okay, so you can directly go to that, what were the changes that have done. Everything, every information is getting recorded here in the DVC studio itself. So it's kind of, you can say they have actually added this latest, this functionality just recently only, because actually what I was doing in the that MLOps, that class that I've taken on this community session. So there, what I did, I have actually, instead of there at that point of time, this was not there, okay, DVC studio. So that's why I have just shown it into your ML flow. So I was giving you, I was showing it into ML flow itself. So these things, because ML flow also does the same thing. It records the information, okay, it records the all the, you can say, the experiment that you do. So in this case, it is actually like DVC has implemented its own. So now we can use theirs also. We can compare the two commits by like what has been done in this and those things. And you can also do the run as well. Let's say if you select this one, and if you want to run this directly, so if you click on this one, so what it will do, it will show you that, okay, parameters.yaml, what you want to update in the parameters, okay, all those things we can update. And then after that, we can commit the changes from directly from here itself. And if you want to create a new branch, you can do that. If you just do it for the main branch, you can do it. It will do all the job from here by using this user interface itself. Okay. And it can also read your private repository. So if you have to give a permission here, so it will read the private repository also. And it can also read the public repository. So right now I have kept this private, this project, and I will be showing you in the next step itself. Okay. So, and apart from that, let's say if you go to the views also, so they give you some examples also, like their own example. You can try there as well. Like if you get into this one, so example get started. So you can just also look into their also example. So, but they have actually, the problem with them is like if you just look into their source, so they implement slightly differently, not the way we do it. So you will see that they are using a different approach. So yeah, you can just look into this example also. But for that, actually for this one, in order to get into this studio, like DVC studio, you need to actually you have to create an account from your GitHub itself. Okay. So yes, we can do that. And yeah, if you want to, let's say if you want to add a view, so you can do this also. So let's say if it is showing you in my GitHub, so I've already provided only these two projects as a like permission. So if you want to do more, so you can do it from configuration, get integration settings. So if you just go here, so it will give you this, you need to configure, let's say GitHub, and GitLab also can be configured. And if you want to provide your cloud credential here itself, so that it can do the training from DVC Studio itself, you can do this also. So yeah, these are some of the approaches that you can apply, and I will show you in the next class itself. Okay, before we go for the PyTorch example.
Yeah.
Because we have already done this project, so we don't have to do much settings. Only a few settings will be helpful, and it will do the job.
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I will suggest you all just do one thing. So whatever we study here, right? So just try to go there, see the documentation. So you will see that, okay, maybe I have whatever I have taught today, maybe after 1 month, you will see that, okay, some new feature has arrived. So in this way, you can keep yourself updated also, all of you. So just try to go through their documentation. Okay. To see that what has been updated, what are the new changes that has been configured. Okay. So in that way, you will be updated. And that's what we have to do. It's like, even whether you are learning or whether you're doing a job also. So yeah, that's all. So let's talk to Jitendra.
Hi, sorry. Actually, I instead of typing sorry to hear about and take care, I said okay, great, take care. Okay.
What?
I didn't know that you are off sick because I was very busy in the weekend, so I couldn't attend.
It's okay. Actually, I
Okay.
did not
So-
also provide any information there on the sheet itself, so that's why it might look like it.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking that maybe you will upload afterwards or sometimes. So I said maybe you guys are busy. That's what I was thinking. Okay, my question is very simple. Because we are doing the training here in the computer itself, okay, but we know that actually when we did in the class, no, actually we used to run this training like for our custom project, no, for a days. Okay, as one project I think I ran for 3 days or something, but which is not in the computer because my computer is very powerful as
Okay.
compared to laptop. Its GPU also there, but that is also not enough. Okay, so we did that in the, I think you gave us the some setting in the class, which using that one we used to manage in the Colab Pro, and then that was quite okay, but actually it's run for 20 hours, and then after that we have to run because of this checkpoint we can rerun again, isn't it, which is good.
Yes.
But and also we have a paper space also, which is a little bit expensive than Colab Pro, but it's a little bit like a handy, like you can run everything like that. But so to do this one and to DVC for POC level also, shall we, because for a 1 or 2 epoch is okay in to run in the laptop, and then because it will give you some result, but we have to migrate to the Colab Pro or something. Training path should go to the Colab Pro or paper space something. So how how we will manage now?
We need to check actually whether it is providing like let's see that. Okay, let's see if I can clone this.
Because Colab Pro is not like our VS Code or Python, no? That's what I was. Because
if
we
you
have to
do
run
the
the
training part, so
file.
yes, I think we can try here. Let's see this.
And also, Sunny, another question is like currently we are running 2 classes, like a dog and cat, okay? But this actually like our model file actually support actually up to 100,000 classes, isn't it? Like using the transformer learning. So if we need to run like a many classes, like up to 10 or something, like for example, if we are thinking about vehicle detection project, okay, and there are bus, car, so many things are there, isn't it? Human, everything is there, isn't it? So in that case, is it possible to put like a for loop inside a DVC YML file instead of going writing all the classes one by one? Yeah, after 10, 20 classes, we don't have problem. We can write data, person data, like a computer data. Like
that's why I said, no, it's like you can use data directly, so that what it will do, it will try to find out that, okay, what are the directory inside that and what are the observed, like let's try this only. Let's try this here also.
Okay,
let's say that we can just ignore this part. Okay, let's try to run this. Let's see that it is running. So just keeping data as a requirements, and also here also let's see that, okay, we are just keeping data.
Okay,
let's see that what kind of observation we get here. DVC. Okay, first of all, let me go back to, I think, source.
I think you need to do source, I think. Dot slash. Okay. So basically it will automatically detect.
Okay. Because the changes you do in DVC YAML, so it will detect, okay, all the changes. But let's say if you want to run the entire like stages, it will also update the dvc.log file. Okay, so let's wait. Let's see the changes. Otherwise, actually, I was recently seeing the documentation. They have updated the documentation also here. Let's see. There is something called as for each, so we can use that. So dvc.log. So it will allow you to write. Maybe we can check the documentation here. I guess in the user guide or use cases. Like. Yeah, templating they have introduced in new DVC 2.0. Okay, so like you can also give the name variable names also Like here you can see it is giving us in models, and then inside that there is 5 times something. So instead of, you can just update this part. So what it is showing is that in the parameters itself, it is taking from parameters.yaml, right? Models, threshold, and this one. And yeah, so it is also taking in this format, like models.us.threshold, and is using a $sign before that. So that it will think that, okay, this is a variable which is coming from there. So we can, this is actually latest update that they have done. And also you can just look into like, if you have variables which can vary. So what we can also specify in the value in the, I think it is updated in parameters.yaml. Okay. And this is, you can also add here as well, like a variable, you can just say that, okay, parameters.json. It is, these are the variables. Okay. And then that you can use directly here. And this is also, I think there was actually adding the for each, for each stages. Okay. So you can also use this maybe. So it says that list of simple values for each, do the command this clean.py. That's if you want to do the cleanup. So you can run a cleanup.py also. So this is one of the approach that you can apply. So these are some of the latest changes. Okay. So that I did not explore much, but yes, you can do it.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it
are
looks
actually
like
updating.
actually, yeah, it looks like actually in the future, actually, it looks like they will create a tool like a
Obviously,
click and forget.
so because right now, let's say we do not
Yeah.
have conditional switch, it will add a conditional switch. They are actually gradually developing. So yes,
Yeah.
so in this way, you can just look into that. So yeah,
Mhm.
so that's why I suggest you that, okay, whenever like you want to see that, first of all, just check the documentation if there is any
Document.
update, then only go for the customized approach. Otherwise, if there's already there, we can use it there. So that
Yeah.
will be very helpful.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
So I think what, yeah, so let's check the dvc.log file. So let's see the last one only. So it says that, okay, it says that just, okay, this is not there. Actually, it is in the data, right?
Data.
Where is this data? Yeah, so you can see that it is showing you the total number of files inside those folder itself. Okay, it was a directory. Inside that also there is a directory. Okay, so it was showing you that, okay, 277 files are there. Total files.
So does it actually, did it split the data cat and dog?
Yeah, after that only it is showing that 277.
Okay.
Let's say if you want to do the change, let's say, let's see the changes. Okay. Okay, it is 277, right? And I think we can check the history also. It was like the graph itself. Get graph. If I check the log file here, so right now it is 277, right? It is showing
277.
dog cat. See here, so dog cat, it was separately, it was doing so 103 for cat, 174 for this. So if we just add them, so it will become 277, right? 3 and 4, 7, and so
47, yeah.
So that was able to find out all the files. So yeah, so you can also give the directory itself. So if you don't want to specify the exact, this can be done.
Okay, that will save lots of space, actually, lots of time also.
So you can do that also. So yeah, so these are the approaches.
Yeah, okay. So what about the Colab Pro? Actually, I think you are going to show that as well.
So let's see this. First of all, let's try to clone it if it works like that. But cloning will also work. It's not going to cause. Okay, first of all, I need to specify an exclamation mark before that. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Also, we need to actually. Yeah, this is testing syllabus. There's something else.
Is it like we were going to do in like a Jupyter notebook, kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of similar stuff only. So what you can do is, it's a kind of Jupyter notebook itself, but there are certain restrictions that it provides. Maybe we can check that first of all. So let's first of all create a folder here, and then inside that folder we will do the experimentation. Let's say expt, and inside that folder I will move it, because these are the other files. Okay, so experiments, and then we can add the folders here. So let's add the folder first of all, not like this, actually upload the folder. So folder upload, and it's I think it's in the live class. We have the it's data we should upload, because that will be required. 277 files. It says 279. What is that? extra files, maybe. Okay, it might be having some extra files also. So this is the file that we are uploading here. So now let's try to open this one. First of all, we need to go to this root of this particular folder. Okay, this is odd. It is not required. Just a second.
It's okay.
And then, Navran, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have. Actually, you were sometime back. You were discussing with someone related to train and predict pipeline. You said to put DVC file in 2 different folder, but when we create DVC repo, so it creates on the root. So how we
That's
are
why I'm
doing
saying now, just create it in this one and then bring it into the root. So that you have to implement it.
Okay.
So that we can run this. Okay, that's what I was saying.
Okay, I thought means 2 different folders we would be creating
No.
DVC or that. Okay, fine, got it.
And let's see also, like, let's say till then, maybe this DVC itself, they will be, maybe they will provide us conditional switch, then it will be better, because while doing the training and prediction, you will see that data preparation stage might remain the same. Only the thing that will change is the training stage. So if it is available, conditional switch, so we can just also use that, but right now it is not available. So yeah, we can approach that way.
Okay.
So we can just simply use %cd also. And let's let it mount first. So it is drive. Inside the drive was in the collab. We are using expt. So we can just copy the path here. So it's right fine. It's like we are in that directory. And now we can clone the, like, this part. Let's try to clone it, not this one. So we can do the git clone. But the cloning can be done, I think, but the, like, pushing the changes will, I think it will affect, because since it's in some other PC, or maybe it's a, you can say it's a kind of on server. So yeah, so in that case, it will cause an issue. And now what we can do is, let's try to go for the change drive to this one, that is DVC. It's always verify that you are in the right directory. Also, let's check the, so we have DVC log, DVC YAML, everything is present. Now let's try to, okay, one more thing that you need is actually you need to install the requirements. So let's try to do that. So let's see.
Yeah, we have to do that all, I think.
Okay, pywin32, we can, yeah, we can remove pywin32 part because it's a Windows specific, so we can Okay, we can edit it here itself. From here itself, we can edit expt, go to your DVC and requirements.
I think it's better to do that in the like up to the stage 1 or stage 2 up before training. It's better to do that in the VC and the VC code, and then after that, when we have this all requirement file and everything, and then we can actually migrate to this one, isn't it? During the training phase, isn't it?
Oh, we can do, see, because we have to just only work for the like training part, so we can separate it on the training. So
Yeah.
every like we can do the, like whatever we want here.
Yeah.
So it was 30. Let's try to run it again. But it may not install the setup py because that causes some issue here. Let's see. In this case, we can skip the TensorFlow also because it is already installed in this one. So we can skip part, but let's move, see this. Okay, it started throwing a issue at setup.py maybe. Okay, it is.
Okay.
So see, what you have to do is after this one, we can just simply run exclamation DVC repro. Okay. Or we can force the changes also. Let's say DVC repro force. So it will be able to like run all the stages. Let's just try it once. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it is successfully uninstalled. So 2.6. Okay, it was actually installing 2. Which was the version that we were using? 2.3 or 2.4, something like that. Maybe. Yeah, 2.3.4 we were using. Pandas done. So it gives like the following methods are previously imported in this runtime. Restart runtime in order to newly installed package. Was it able to pips dependency resolver does not currently take all those packages? Okay. Google Colab. Okay, this is fine. Let's restart the runtime. Also check that whether you are in the required working directory or not. Okay, you are not. So we need to first of all again do the we need to make sure that you are in this cloning part was already done, so we don't have to, we can skip that part. CD to DL part, okay, that is fine. PWD, okay, now it is absolutely fine. Now let's try to again check there. Now if I try to run, hopefully it will run maybe. Let's see this. Running base model, okay. So it is running.
Training. Yeah, it's training also.
Load data is actually able to load the data. And it is not actually running that TQDM. Maybe it is because of this issue.
But anyway, it start training, isn't it? Which is good.
Let's see. First of all, right now it is actually copying the data. First of all.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, so it's 20. It is taking time, that part. That's all. 29%. It is taking some time, so maybe.
Colab Pro also is quite handy actually, because you don't have to spend quite a lot of money, isn't it? Like a
Yes,
which is like a quite handy instead of actually paper space and everything, because you just
Yeah, if you are
follow your
doing
document and
Mhm.
just dump all the training part and then create a model file, just save it, download it, and just it's too easy, isn't it?
Because for the testing, initial testing, let's say if you're having very huge model also, and you don't want to, because if you can see here, when I was training here, so it was actually throwing me like error that like GPU was not set up, but actually I did the setup still. So it was showing me that error. We can check that also again. Let's see. It says that could not dynamically, like CUDA, it was not able to find it out. Okay, and ignore CUDA error if you do not have a GPU. So let's see now. tf.etching, it was config dot list physical devices. Okay, right now it is showing that it is empty, but it was actually configured. So
yeah,
maybe it was busy or something. So it happens. Like let's say if the CUDA is already busy, so might throw an error, this error. But although I have set up these things, but still it is giving me that error. Okay, so right now what it's doing is transferring 104 files. Check out failed the following targets. It says that it is not able to find it out. Okay, maybe was the upload complete or not? The upload was complete, but okay, let's do this reproduce command only. Let's see this. Again, it is doing from, okay, this is
copy again.
callback is getting prepared now. So training.
It looks like a working.
Okay, it has started the training also. Yeah, we can do that thing.
Yeah, which is quite good actually. Because, yeah, this way actually we can actually track everything, isn't it? Which is quite good.
We can do this way also. And we can see that, okay, it is also going to generate logs as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it was able to do it, but it may not be able to push the changes. You need to check that, okay, whether you are able to push the changes to your GitHub, or maybe it will ask you to configure it. So maybe you need to log in or something. So you have to do it for you. So yes, that can be done later.
Yeah.
But training part can be done easily. Yes, that is possible.
Yeah, well, because which is quite good actually, because using the TBC repo itself, actually we can running everything now, which is like a run all the stages, and then it would keep a record in the Colab itself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So even we can just check once, like parameters. Let's try to update it to epochs. Let's say 30, or maybe 10 at least. Let's see.
Yeah.
It should be able to do it.
Let's open the log file also.
Let's see this logs. Yeah, logs are also getting generated properly.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything will happen here. It's that's the system only. So that's right path. If you give, everything will happen exactly the way we want. So yeah, I
that's
started
right.
training also for the 10th epoch also. It is able to capture this information also, that yes, everything is able to, and even the artifacts are getting generated here. So yes, base model and everything. Although you can see that we did not upload all those things, right? So we just only added the like the required files which are there. Okay, just the code part only we have added. So in this way, if you are working in a team also, so yes, a team can also perform some certain experiments from their end. So you don't have to log all the informations. Okay, only thing that you have to do is you have to just keep the like DVC files and all those things which are required files for the DVC project. The rest of the things we can ignore. Like the byproducts
And also
can be
actually,
stay in
if
your
in the
system.
like in the Collab Pro also, actually, if it is like a kick me out after 20 hours, then also it will actually have a checkpoint. Then it will take the checkpoint, isn't it?
Yes. You can do
That's
that.
okay. That's great. Okay,
So
thank you,
for
Sunny.
that, let's say one more thing I will suggest you here. So let's say you want to start from the checkpointing. So what you can do is you can also add one more parameter here, which is about checkpointing. So we can make it true or false. So in that case, you can write some if else condition that let's say if you are learning from the checkpoints, so it will based on, let's say if you make it true, so it will just read that condition from here, that if it is true, that means read it from checkpoint and start training from there. So that thing you can implement in this way.
Okay.
You just have to add one more parameter. So that will solve your issue. Like instead of manually doing it, it is just one-time implementation. It will do the job.
Yeah, concept of parameter and configuration is quite good actually, because it will,
Yes. Actually, you will
like
see all the like configuration tools you will see, whether it is Terraform or any of them, like or any tools that is available in DevOps. Most of them are using YAML files. Most of them, they are already using configuration files. Right now,
very good also actually, easy to understand.
Yes. So that's why there are so many configuration management tools are coming up. Even you can see the Git this dvc.yaml or this GitHub this cml.yaml. This is also nothing but YAML file only. So they are actually managing in this way. And now programming will be actually in later stage you will see that okay, people will be more focusing on configuration part rather than this programming part, because this will be actually be done once it is done. So we have to just experiment with the configurations only.
And also your coding, the modular coding, whatever you are currently teaching now, okay, it's so easy now. Actually, you just copy all this code and just change your data directory and just start working on that one, isn't it?
Yes. So that makes his one-time job. So that is actually good.
Yeah. DL is so easy now actually. You just copy your code, and ML is a little bit tricky because you have to do all EDA parts and everything and then start. Okay.
Yes.
But DL is very easy once you have a data. Oh yeah, okay. One more thing actually. This is a classification that way. But if you have a kind of like we do the segmentation and everything, no, like using the for that one actually, because we integrate with a JSON file and everything. So is it a little bit different?
Yes. So no, it will going to be mostly same if you want to implement with that. So what you have to do is, the dependencies will change and then the way of reading file will change. Okay, those things will change. Still, you will be able to manage those things. Okay, so we can segregate those as well in the same pattern only.
Okay.
It can be done. Can be done.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. So I think that's all for the today's lecture. So let's see you all and tomorrow in the doubt clearing session. So the assignment will be for this time that just add one more stage as evaluation stage. Just see whether you are able to evaluate the model or not. And I think that's all. And if you want to experiment on Colab also, try to experiment on Colab also. Let's see whether you are able to add it or not. And just also see that whether you are able to push the changes from here or not. If yes, then we can do the experiments on this DVC, experiments on Colab itself. So these two assignments you can try. So let's see you all tomorrow in the doubt clearing session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night, son.
Good night.